Welcome everybody back to our YouTube channel, and first off, I know my mustache is looking damn fine today. But, that being said, I've been wanting to do this video forever, and now because of Ronaldo's collab that we got going up, I finally have a great excuse to do just that. So today we're going to talk about the do's and don'ts for Arena, starting from the most obvious and ending on the things I feel like even the high-end players may not even know. So first off, I want to hit you guys with the cold water here. I want to tell you that you should not be using hero rankings. This is not what you want to look for when you want to see what heroes to use and how to use them, right? Because look, they will show you the heroes used in whatever section you find best, right? And it is very useful. But the problem is, it's very, let's say, inaccurate, right? Because for instance here, in Apex Overlord, you're gonna see Nyx. And the problem is that it doesn't tell you how to use Nyx or who to use her with, but most importantly, it doesn't tell you that if you want to be competing high with Nyx, you need her at least A3 and at best A5, or she's pretty much useless. What's infinitely better is if you guys make your way over here to leaderboard, and depending on whatever the week ended last week on, aka last week for me was anti-air, right? So you go through all the best players here and you just see what they've been using. And like I just said, you can see she's A5, but it gets better than that because if you click on this stuff here, you can see exactly what gear they're using. And I don't know, this is how I come up with a lot of my strategies for Arena, is I go through the top players and I see what they're using and I try to adapt to that. Alright, so this next one is really more of a clarification than anything else, but I've seen some confusion in my comment section about exactly how the defense, setting your defense works. So I thought I'd just show real quick that all your ults are round base. So whenever you use an ult, like I'm going to use this guy's ult right here, every single time this ult goes off in the auto, it's going to go off exactly at wave 3 at the moment I clicked it, and no other time, even if the enemy takes longer to get to round 3. Also, a quick thing I want to mention about setting your defense. Whenever you're doing your defense, the enemies you're going to face are going to scale, aka their damage and their defense will scale off of how much BP, how much power level your heroes have. Now here we are on the last two tips. So the big one you guys should try to keep in mind is if you're trying to finish an Overlord and you don't really feel like your teams are really there, or if you're trying to finish in Apex Overlord and you have the same problem, really what you want to do is you want to focus and try to climb the ranks for the first part of the week, right? Then the second part of the week, try to keep your rank, right? But don't go breaking your back to go super high. At the very end of the week though, that's when you want, if you want to invest some gems to refresh, this is the time you do it, right? You don't do it midweek, you do it at the very end of the week, just so that you're set up and you have a decent position throughout the week, and then you can take that decent position and push it as high as you feel like you can go. Now with the third tip. The thing is that if you get to Overlord rank, then everybody you're going to fight who's also in Overlord, you're not going to be able to see their BP. So you could really be in for a nasty surprise if you click on the fight button and then all of a sudden they have like significantly higher BP than you do. So what I like to do is, since if you look here on the left side, since everybody is categorized by the level they are currently in Arena, then what I personally do is I fight the first two, right? Because the first two are gonna be, I feel like in my experience, significantly more easy than the other three that pop up. Also, one last thing that I feel like is really just my personal experience, but I've talked to other people and they've had it too, is that whenever you're on a winning streak, whenever you're really doing well, and you're kind of nearing Overlord, I feel like the game will start throwing you really impossibly high people to beat, like way higher than they feel like would be fair, just because if you win too much, then the competitive spirit starts to die a little bit. So often games like this will kind of put you in your place by throwing you like top 10 people in the world just randomly in your thing, and there's no way for you to know, right? So if you're doing very well and then you just start losing, don't start running around being like, what's wrong with my team? It might just be the game trying to humble you a little bit. Now, with the final piece of advice that's more aimed for players who are late game in single target, right? The thing to keep in mind is the only enemy that really matters is the last enemy. So whenever you're timing your ults, you want to make sure you're saving them for the last enemy. And you're using characters like Salazar who have really good burst ults that are able to deal amazing amount of damage to the last enemy, even though they really don't do that much to any other enemy. Alright guys, here we are at the end of the video. You know, I really appreciate you guys getting this far in the video, and if you liked the video, if you like this kind of video, please leave a subscribe, because we not only do a lot of videos like this, but we also do a lot of other things. We just try to diversify the channel quite a bit. So the thing though is, if you guys have any other tips, really do leave them down in the comments, because I was thinking about making another video about this, and if I read your comment and I think it's a really good tip, next time I do this, I'll make sure to put your name down and give you credit. That being said, make sure to check out Ronaldo's video that I did with him, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!